First comes love, then comes marriage, and then comes divorce sometimes. Back to share their divorce stories and how they're building new beginnings after uncoupling are Alana and Julie. Thank you so much for coming back and for talking about all this. So, Alana, how long were you and your ex together, and when did you get divorced?
So we were together for 20 years, married for 15, and we separated in June of 2022. So not yet divorced, separated.
Right, you're still in your during right now. Jules, how about you?
We were together for about 17 years, married for almost 10, and separated. I'm officially divorced and separated for, this is my 6th year.
You said it with like so much happiness.
Now divorced.
I'm officially divorced.
It was a long process.
Yes.
It was a very long process.
We're going to get into some of that in a second, but I want to start with you, Alana. Tell us the first time you thought to yourself, you know what, I don't think this marriage is going to make it.
You know, I mean, listen, the writing was on the wall for a while, and it just got to a point where my kids were getting to an age and older where I was realizing that we were modeling a marriage that I didn't want them to think that that's what marriage was. Nor did I want, you know, I just take a step back and think, is this a marriage that I would want for my children? And it wasn't. And so then I had to take another step back and think, well, why is this a marriage that I want for myself or for my ex, you know? For both of us. So it was at that point where I knew, you know, a decision needed to be made, for sure.
I don't know if you've heard about the peel the orange test, but it's like, would your partner peel an orange for you? And this is supposed to be some sort of litmus test, like, do they care about you? Do they like you?
Yeah.
Was there a moment like that at any point in your marriage where you're like, this guy's not peeling my orange?
You know, I mean, listen, I wasn't peeling his orange either.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it got to the point where, you know, we could throw around the word love. Sure, of course, he's the father of my children, but it's like, do we like each other? You know, is there that respect there? I think the word respect often needs to be more discussed in marriage, because you can say you love someone, but do you respect them? And that was missing on both sides, for sure.
Okay, fair. Julie, let's talk about sharing the news, which I'm sure was daunting. What was it like sharing the news of your separation and your divorce with your family and your friends?
So we were together for such a long time, and my ex didn't really like sharing when we were having issues and everything like that. It carried a lot of shame. So I didn't share any of the issues we were having. So when we did, you know, separate and we were ready to tell the news, I told the news. My family was shocked. Like, they had no idea what was going on. They had no idea. And I come from a very traditional Italian upbringing where you don't get really divorced. You just work it out, and you just live unhappily forever and ever.
Yeah.
So they were shocked, and I was exhausted because I was constantly just explaining myself. So it was a very daunting process.
Did you ever like duck out of those family events, like just to not have to spend all that emotional labor explaining to people?
No, I didn't. I was very much, I wanted to move on. So, and I just kind of ripped the Band-Aid. Went to my first wedding by myself. I went to events. I hung out with friends as much as I could. I just did that, even though it was very weird for everyone around me. It was very weird. Like, it's a grieving process for everyone, you know? So, so I did those things, and it got me to where I am today. Like, it made things more and more comfortable as I did them.
Okay, there's no real rule book for how you're supposed to do it, right?
No.
You just got to really test the waters. Did either of you feel, and I'll start with you, Alana, like you failed because your marriage ended?
You know what, I didn't. And I have a great tribe around me, and one of my girlfriends who went through divorce said to me right in the beginning, she said, never let anyone feel like you failed, because you know what, look at it, you had a great run. I had a 15-year marriage. I have 3 amazing kids out of that marriage. I can't look at it with any regrets just for that reason alone, you know? So where my concern was is I come from a family, you know, my parents are married 50+ years, and like Julie, I kept a lot of stuff in. So it was a bit of a shock to people, and I was really worried about disappointing them. I actually thought to myself many times, and I've heard a few other people say this, you know what, I'm just going to stick it out until my parents are gone, because I was so worried about telling them, and would I disappoint them? And, you know, divorce isn't really in my family. Thankfully, I didn't, for many reasons, but one, I mean, my parents were my biggest rocks through the whole thing, so, yeah.
One thing I think about when it comes to ending a relationship, and it could be a marriage, it could be a friendship, but, like, for instance, one of the bridesmaids I had in my wedding was such a close friend, and she isn't anymore. I still have to be able to look back at those pictures and see that there were good times.
Yeah.
So do you look back and do you see the good times still, Jules?
I do. I definitely do.
Yeah.
There were a lot of good times,
Yeah.
and like Alana, like I have 2 beautiful children.
Yes.
Out of it, and there was a time when we actually did get along, and those were very happy times. I would never throw those away.
For a lot of people, this uncoupling is the first time that they live by themselves, because a lot of us went from our parents to our marriage. This was the case with you, Alana.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that transition. How was that for you?
It's going really well, Tracy. So yeah, I mean, same. I, live with my parents and, moved in with my ex. So I've never lived alone, and it's still very new for me. It's only been a few months, but it is lovely.
Yeah.
My kids are great. My kids are older, 3 teens. So the transition for them has been, I think, a little bit easier because of that. But I love it.
You love it.
I do love
Are you
it.
leaning against the counter and having a sleeve of crackers with peanut butter for dinner?
I can.
Anytime you want.
Me
Oh,
and my
that's a
dog.
beautiful
It's great.
thing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a different person, Julie, now than you did when you were in your marriage?
Definitely. I'm a lot happier now.
Yeah.
Because when you're hiding things and hiding issues, it literally eats at you. Like it eats at you. So I'm a lot happier now. I face grief and I face shame now, and I work through them instead of just hiding them or doing things to distract myself, like traveling and doing all those things. So I am a lot different now. I definitely take those things into consideration and really move through them.
Talk to me a little bit about community support, finding your village after a divorce. Have you found your village, Alana?
Thank God for my village. I mean, my friends' support was amazing. Like I said, my parents were great. Here, I mean, the amount of tears that I cried in the green room, when we're not shooting segments, we're
That's how we met.
we bonded over divorce, your team, I mean, you find support in places that you wouldn't think you would, and you need it. And I'm not one to really ask for help or reach out, and I asked for a lot of help the past 2 years. And yeah.
You feel less alone when you're talking to other, like, okay, I'm not the only one going through this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have your community, you have your village, you're in a new whole blended family
Yes. Yeah.
situation.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. My life is completely different now. I moved in my partner and his 2 kids. So like my house is just full of love, and it's like beautiful, and I love it. And it's a dream come true.
That's so good. I like the fact that magic happens backstage.
Oh, so much magic happens
There will be
backstage.
experts that meet each other, and then all of a sudden it's like they're in Italy.
Yeah,
They're going on trips together.
We should totally do that. Yeah.
This is magic. It happens back there. It happens in our audience. Let me tell you, there's lots of good energy here. So thank you so much for being so honest. And congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.